So yeah, great.
So now we have the HoverCar.
Mhm.
And I actually had an artist kind of work on this, and I added
Good.
Stevati Aerospace SM 2032, the HoverCar, to it. And
That's
yeah,
good.
this is something a screenshot that I captured what 3 years ago, more than 3 years ago
Sure,
now.
sure.
Yeah. Is this indeed the HoverCar design that you did in '87?
It is. It's a hand drawing that I did years ago while in the seventh grade.
Wow.
It's
Seventh grade.
You did this in the seventh grade?
yep.
Oh my God.
And
That's
so it was,
amazing.
Wow.
it's really it now the we haven't revealed the current design. Of course, the current design is a modern iteration. It's evolved quite a bit, but it is still very indicative of this. And I'm trying to make sure that the design looks as much as this as possible. Of
Yeah.
course, this is a little more stylized. And when one of my challenges as a designer has always been combining art and style and aesthetics with practical
Yeah.
functionality.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
there are two driving factors in that. One is always the propulsion system, and the other is people. And so, how do you fit four people in a craft shaped like this so that they have enough headroom and it's
Right.
comfortable and they're not
Yeah.
so, you know.
Right.
And I think the design, when we release it in the not too distant future, this year, we hope to release it very soon.
Yay.
Oh,
Well,
wow.
we'll be, we'll have designs, we'll have 3D models, we'll have desktop models, we'll have stuff, and then of course the prototype getting cranked out. And we've got way too many vendors that want to prototype for us. We have lots. I think we got three today saying, "Hey, can we prototype this for you?" And I said, "Well, we can see what parts you can make and all that." So,
Does it
Wow.
still have the wings that fold down?
oh yeah, we'll have the folding wings.
That's awesome.
We have all of that. So and the goal is really it has to fit in your garage. It's going to gobble up your whole garage, unfortunately. But, we'll say, "Hey, you have one of these. Why do you need another car?"
Exactly.
Exactly. Um, going back to the seventh grade, is the story that in the eighth grade you approached the Air Force? Can you
Yep.
tell us a little bit more about all that?
Sure. Well, that was for what was then. Well, okay. So I love to design a lot of different vehicles. And of course, fighter airplanes are kind of the hallmark. And especially when you're a kid, you love fighter planes real dearly.
Yeah.
And so I'm always drawn, cool fighter jets. And so I really focused on a fighter aircraft configuration. And that became our entry into the multi-role fighter program. And so that was a program that predated the Joint Strike Fighter. And so between basically 1989 and 1993, which was essentially that Reagan or not Reagan Bush era, really.
Yeah.
I was extremely active then. I was excited. Heck, we even this is another cool project. It was led by what's his name, the vice president at the time, the vice president under Bush. He, why can't I remember his name, Mr. Potato?
Oh, the one that couldn't spell
uh,
the name. Oh,
yes, Dan Quayle. Dan Quayle.
yes.
Yes, so Dan Quayle had this initiative for a spaceship to go to Mars, and this was kind of a
Wow.
hybrid NASA initiative. It wasn't just NASA. I forget the whole thing, but this was a spaceship. This was an interstellar spaceship to go to Mars. It wasn't a rocket program. It was a really
Wow.
cool, reusable. It was like, let's go build the Discovery from 2001: A Space Odyssey to go to
Wow.
Mars. And so I entered that. We came up with a design and everything, and it was really a cool project. That was probably about the same time as the multi-role fighter. So that whole time period was really busy for me as a teenager, as a high school student. And
So you, sorry to interrupt, but you were still in high school at the time, is
yeah,
what you're saying?
yeah, I
Wow.
graduated in '92. So that
Okay.
that was that whole era. And so I was always being asked probably from the 10th grade on. So Chris, you're building an airplane. Tell us more about this airplane that you're building. And I said, well, I can and I can't. And I kind of incorporated some of the elements into my physics professor, Mr. Brandt was really cool at the time. He gave me 2 independent studies that tied into spaceship and airplane design. And
wow.
this was before cell phones, and so I had access to a phone and stuff like that. And so while I was at school, I could work on these projects, and that was helpful a lot when I wasn't doing stuff out in the field and at home. So it was, I got to have kind of a day job at school for a few hours every day, and
Wow.
that was cool. And but yeah, we submitted a multi-role fighter program submission. It did get funded. I can neither confirm or deny that 2 YFXX prototypes were built. And so that was kind of the basis of what launched everything. And those airplanes are the kind of the foundation of what evolved into the Stelma, although the SM-36 is kind of a watered down export configuration of that.
Okay.
The program was then essentially canceled under the Clinton administration. The Clintons took a different approach, and the focus then, the original plan was we would have a lot of different new airplanes that would be manufactured. We'd have a replacement for the F-16, an F-18 replacement. The F-22 would go into production, or F-23. It wasn't selected yet at the time. It wasn't rolled out. And then we would have a new airplane for the Navy to replace the A-6. That was like the A-12. And one by one, these different programs got canceled. So the Navy A-12 got canceled, multi-role fighter got canceled. The Navy never got an F-14 replacement. They were going to have a Navy advanced tactical fighter that never came into being. They didn't get the Super Hornet, the Super Tomcat, that was canceled. And of course, the F-18 was never replaced. Instead, they got the Super Hornet, which was then going to also replace the F-14. And so we went through this whole phase of, instead of doing a lot of new development, we're just going to take what we have and we'll have F-22s. And then to replace the A-10, the F-16, the Harrier, the F-18, all these other planes, we would build this one airplane. And they called it the Common Affordable Lightweight Fighter at one point. They called it the JAST, the Joint Advanced Strike Technology Plane. They were British. They got a Russian Yakolev 141 over here. And so eventually it became the Joint Strike Fighter program.